Hi everyone, welcome to this session. And in this session, we are going to focus on a concept of grammar. Before we go ahead with grammar at English Gyan, there are 5 steps that is going to make you absolutely fluent. It's a 5-step process. First is to watch and learn from the videos that are already present in the English Gyan application. They are self-explanatory. Live sessions are for practice where I pick up a topic, I train you on that, I give you vocabulary and I make you interact. Third is interaction. After this, we are going to be getting divided into smaller groups where you would be getting 30 to 40 minutes to interact. Next is after every live session, the next day you get a video topic where you are expected to upload a video and you get a personal feedback on that. Now, before we go ahead and before learning any concept, we need to be very sure that how can you become confident with the language of English? You can become confident when you frame a sentence properly. So a proper sentence structuring is very, very much essential. Whenever you want to speak in English, you should be aware that your statements should have 3 things: subject, verb, and object. Now, what is a subject? Subject is about whom are you talking in the statement. And 90% of your subjects are I, we, you, they, he, she, and it. 90% of sentences start from I, we, you, they, he, she, and it. After the subject comes the verb. Verb is nothing but V1 or V2 or V3. Very, very important. And last is object. Object is something that gives complete meaning to your statement. Now, I have seen people, they become confused with sentence structuring because they think in their mother tongue and they try to translate it word by word in English. So the first step is you have to stop thinking in your mother tongue. You have to stop thinking in your mother tongue and you have to frame short and simple statements. That is going to help you a lot. So subject, verb, and object. So with this, we are going to start the learning for today, and that is modal auxiliary in the present tense. Now, for some, the term modal auxiliary would be new, correct? But if I give you examples, you will be able to connect what is exactly the modal auxiliary I'm talking about. So modal auxiliaries are words like have to, has to, must, can, could, need to, should. In the present tense, these are modal auxiliaries. There is one part called tenses, the other part called modal auxiliaries. I have to do this, he has to do this, you must do this. So these are nothing but modal auxiliaries used in the present tense. So out of all these, we are going to focus on have to, has to, and must for today. I'm going to tell you what is the difference and where do we use it. So the sentence formation is going to be first subject. It can be I, we, you, they, he, she, it. After the subject, you're going to use a modal auxiliary. Have to, has to, depending on the subject, and then comes the object. This is going to be the flow of the sentence. Now, let me give you some examples. Before giving examples, we'll also understand what is the meaning of that. First, let us understand have to. Have to means what? Have to means compulsion. I have to do this. मुझे ये करना पड़ता है. Nobody is asking कि मैं करना चाहती हूँ या नहीं चाहती. I have to do this. So have to is compulsion. If you are a working professional and if your senior gives you a task, so your senior will say, boss, you have to do it. आपके पास टाइम है, नहीं है, आप ठीक हो, नहीं हो, we are not concerned. So have to is nothing but compulsion. It is compulsory for you to do it. All you need to understand is when your subject is I, we, you, and they, you will use have to. I repeat, when your subject is I, we, you, they, you will use have to. I have to, we have to, you have to, they have to. And have to के बाद जो verb है, that will be V1. I have to prepare. This is positive statement. I have to prepare. मुझे prepare करना पड़ता है. If you want to make it negative, I do not have to prepare. मुझे prepare नहीं करना पड़ता है. If you want to make a question, do I have to prepare? क्या मुझे prepare करना पड़ता है? And if I want to add any WH question, when do I have to prepare? Why do I have to prepare? How do I have to prepare? So have to is nothing but compulsion. Everyone understood what I'm trying to tell you? So have to is compulsory for you to do it. I have to go to office. I do not have to go to office. Do I have to go to office? Why do I have to go to office? So when it's I, we, you, and they, you are going to use have to. And when you talk about he, she, it, I repeat, when you talk about he, she, it, when you talk about a third person, you are going to make use of has to. He has to. उसे करना पड़ता है. She has to. उसे करना पड़ता है. It has to. So whenever you talk about a boy, he, a girl, she, or a thing, it, at that point of time, you are going to make use of has to. This is the rule of grammar. I, we, you, they के साथ have to, and he, she, it के साथ has to. The verb is going to be of the first form. For example, Ram has to think a lot. उसे बहुत ज़्यादा सोचना पड़ता है. If you want to make it negative, you will use does not. Ram does not have to think a lot. Does Ram have to think a lot? क्या उसे ज़्यादा सोचना पड़ता है? Why does Ram have to think a lot? उसे ज़्यादा क्यों सोचना पड़ता है? So have to and has to means compulsion. करना पड़ता है. Must also means compulsion. I must do this. You must read it. They must follow the rules. So have to also means compulsion. Has to also means compulsion. Must also means compulsion. So how will you come to know where to use what? For example, let me tell you a sentence formation step by step. The rule, when you talk about have to, the rule is with I, we, you, they, you will use have to plus V1. I have to write an email. मुझे email लिखना पड़ता है. When you talk about he, she, it, you will use has to. He has to write the email. My brother has to write the email. Correct? So have to is subject plus have to has to plus the first form of verb and object. I have to attend the meeting. I do not have to attend the meeting. Do I have to attend the meeting? Why do I have to attend the meeting? Where do I have to attend the meeting? When do I have to attend the meeting? And when you talk about has to, the rule is when you talk about he, she, it, you will use has to. जैसे my mother has to think about it. Negative, my mother does not have to think about it. Does my mother have to think about it? How does my mother have to think about it? So this is about have to and has to. Now, have to and has to is used for the present or for the future tense. For example, I have to do it now. मुझे ये अभी करना पड़ता है. Correct? That is present tense. I have to do it next week. मुझे next week करना पड़ेगा ये. You know? So that is for the future. Must is also used for the present or for the future. For example, same concept. Must is used with all the pronouns. I must, we must, you must, they must. I must attend the meeting. I must not attend the meeting. Must I attend the meeting? When must I attend the meeting? Or how must I attend the meeting? So have to, has to, and must, all the three means compulsion. Now, what is the difference? There is a minute but the most important difference between must and have to. Listen to this very carefully. The difference is when you give your personal opinion, जब भी आप अपना personal opinion देते हो, you can make use of must or have to. The choice is yours. For example, if you have seen a movie, अगर आपने कोई movie देखी है, if you have seen a movie and you like that movie, you will go to your friends and say, you must watch the movie or you have to watch the movie. Both are correct. आपका personal opinion है, you can use either must or have to. Both are correct. But when you are not giving your personal opinion, जब आप अपना personal opinion नहीं दे रहे हो, when you are telling the fact, that is not your personal opinion, at that time you are going to make use of have to. When you do not give your personal opinion, it is a fact, you will use have to. For example, my brother gets up late. Now, ये मेरा ओपिनियन है कि मेरा भाई लेट उठता है, करेक्ट? अभी मेरे डिक्शनरी में 6 o'clock in the morning लेट हो सकता है, आपकी डिक्शनरी में 9 o'clock in the morning लेट हो सकता है. So I am giving my personal opinion. So my brother gets up late, it is my personal opinion. In that, I'll say he must wake up on time or he has to wake up on time. In the second example, in some countries, men serve in military. There is a rule in some countries that citizens have to serve in the military from the age of 18 to 23. Now, is this Binaka's personal opinion? Is it my personal opinion? No, it is not my personal opinion. It is the rule of that country. So when you say the fact, at that point in time, you are going to make use of have to. Whenever you say a fact, you are going to make use of have to. But whenever it's your personal opinion, you can use must or have to, both are correct. This is the difference. For example, the government has made a rule to wear mask. It is not my rule, it is not my personal opinion, it is a rule that and all the nations are following. Correct? So whenever there is a fact, you will say you have to wear a mask. It is not my opinion, it is the rule of the government. This is the difference between must and have to. So this was all about modal auxiliary that you need to